Let me guess. You've been feeling invisible lately, like no matter how much good you do, it goes unnoticed. You watch people rise, succeed, get chosen, while you stay quiet, forgotten, left behind. You're not lazy, you're not ungrateful, you're just tired. Tired of wondering why your moment hasn't come yet. But what if I told you, you were never forgotten? You were hidden. Hidden by Allah, on purpose, for something bigger than you've ever imagined. Because sometimes, the strongest souls are the ones He keeps in the shadows the longest. You keep feeling like you're not enough. But what if Allah is protecting you from settling for less? You scroll through your feed, and it feels like everyone has it all figured out. They look confident, they're smiling, their life looks full, loved, celebrated, seen. And you sit there wondering why you still feel so incomplete, why you question yourself over and over again, why you look in the mirror and feel like something's missing. It hurts, and the worst part, you can't explain it to anyone. But here's something your heart needs to hear. Maybe Allah is the one who placed that discomfort inside you, not to hurt you, but to protect you from something far worse. Because if you felt enough in the wrong place, you might have stayed there. You might have accepted a job that would have destroyed your peace. You might have married someone who would have drained your soul. You might have built a life that looked beautiful on the outside, but left you empty on the inside. So what did Allah do? He let you feel the sting of not enough. He let you feel disconnected, different, lost, because He didn't want you to attach to what was never meant for you. He wanted you to grow, not sideways, not backward, but upward. And that kind of growth, it takes silence. It takes loneliness. It takes feeling like the world forgot you while Allah was quietly building you. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're not too late. You're just being reshaped for something that won't break your heart when you finally receive it. So if you've ever whispered to yourself, "I'm not enough," try this instead. I'm still becoming the version of me that won't settle for less than what Allah wrote. Because when you finally step into that chapter, you'll look back at this pain and say, "Ya Allah, thank you for not letting me accept less than what I'm truly worth." Number 2, every time you heal, something else breaks. But what if that's how Allah is awakening the strongest you? You finally start to feel okay. You breathe a little, smile a little, sleep a little deeper, and then out of nowhere, something else breaks. Another disappointment, another test, another moment where your heart sinks all over again. And you just sit there thinking, why can't I catch a break? Why does healing feel so temporary, so fragile? You feel like life is this cycle of fixing one thing only to watch something else fall apart. And honestly, it gets exhausting. But what if I told you, this constant breaking isn't a sign that you're failing? What if it's the opposite? What if every crack in your heart is really a doorway to a new kind of strength? Strength Allah wants you to discover. Because there are some strengths you'll never access until something inside you gets shattered first. Maybe Allah is awakening a version of you that's more patient than you've ever been, more grateful than you've ever felt, more connected to Him than you've ever imagined. You weren't created for comfort. You were created for growth. And real growth isn't soft. It's silent. It's slow, and it almost always feels like breaking at first. The truth is, you don't become stronger by getting what you want. You become stronger by surviving what you never asked for. And right now, that strength is being born inside you, not the kind of strength people see, but the kind only Allah sees. The kind that builds in your du'as, in your private tears, in your quiet patience, in the way you still say Alhamdulillah even when your heart feels heavy. You're not just healing, you're evolving. And yes, healing might not look like a straight line. It might look like starting over 100 times. It might feel like you're breaking more than you're building. But with every piece that falls apart, Allah is placing something eternal in its place. So keep walking, even if your steps are slow, even if your hands are trembling, because one day you'll look back and realize those breakdowns weren't setbacks, they were sacred awakenings. And you didn't just survive them, you became someone unshakable because of them. No 3. You keep being misunderstood because your light is meant to shine quietly, not loudly. You try your best to be kind, to speak from the heart, to stay away from drama, to bring peace wherever you go. But somehow, people still misunderstand you. They misread your silence. They twist your intentions. They label you things that have nothing to do with who you really are. And after a while, it starts to hurt, not because you want to be praised, but because it's painful to be misunderstood when your heart was always clean. You ask yourself, why do they always get me wrong? Why do people assume the worst about me, even when I stay silent? But maybe this pain isn't a sign that something's wrong with you. Maybe it's proof that your soul is too rare to be recognized by most. Some hearts are so soft, so pure, so sincere, that this noisy world simply can't process them. You weren't made to be loud. You weren't made to perform. You weren't made to explain yourself 100 times just to be accepted. You were made to shine quietly, to love deeply, to walk humbly. And sometimes, your light will only be noticed by the ones whose eyes aren't clouded by ego, or jealousy, or judgment. The Prophet Muhammad was called a liar before he was called a prophet. Yusuf, alayhi salam, was accused before he was honored. Maryam, alayhi salam, was slandered before she was praised. The world misunderstood every soul that was chosen by Allah. So, what makes you think you'll be treated differently? If your heart feels lonely, it doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It might mean you're exactly where Allah wants you to be. He's teaching you to stop needing applause, to stop explaining yourself, to stop begging for people to get you, because the one who created your heart already understands it better than anyone else ever could. And when Allah understands you, it doesn't matter who doesn't. So don't dim your light just because others can't handle it. Don't silence your sincerity just because it makes others uncomfortable. You weren't sent here to be understood by everyone. You were sent to live your truth and let Allah handle the rest. One day, the same people who misunderstood you will look at how far you've come and realize we never really knew who they were, but Allah did. And that will be more than enough. Number 4, you're still in the same place for years. But what if that's where Allah hid your greatest test and your greatest reward? You've been in the same place for what feels like forever. Same home, same job, same routine, same pain. While others are moving, growing, relocating, marrying, achieving, you're still here, still waiting, still wondering, why does nothing ever change for me? Why do I feel stuck no matter how hard I try to move forward? And it starts to sink in, that heavy feeling, like life skipped over you, like Allah isn't listening, like maybe you're not chosen after all. But here's what you don't see yet. Maybe this place, this ordinary, invisible, difficult place you've been planted in, is actually sacred. Because some of the biggest transformations in your soul don't happen in new cities, or new jobs, or new marriages. They happen when nothing around you changes, but everything inside you does. Punishment? No. A test so important, Allah won't let you leave until you pass it. What if there's something inside you that can only be healed here, in the silence, in the sameness, in the waiting? You see, your environment may feel small, but your patience inside it is growing something massive, something eternal. Some people travel the world and still feel lost, but you might be standing in one place for years and still be traveling closer and closer to Allah. Because it's not about changing locations, it's about letting Allah change you. Maybe your reward is not somewhere else. Maybe it's right here, but you'll only see it once your heart passes the test. Allah hid beneath the surface. Sometimes He hides the treasure in the most uncomfortable places. He hides the answer where the pain is. He hides the turning point inside the waiting. You're not stuck. You're being anchored. So when the winds come, you don't break. And one day, when your heart is ready, Allah will move you in a way that's effortless. Doors will open so easily, you'll cry from the shock. But until that day comes, remember this. Just because your feet haven't moved doesn't mean your soul hasn't grown wings. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are exactly where Allah needs you to be for your soul to rise. Number 5. You're tired of starting over. But what if Allah keeps resetting your life to remove what's not meant for the end? You build something piece by piece, hope by hope, dua by dua. And just when it starts to feel safe, when you finally let yourself breathe, it all comes crashing down again. The plan falls apart. The job slips away. The relationship ends. The dream you were so close to disappears overnight. And in the silence that follows, your heart whispers, Ya Allah, how many times do I have to start over? It feels unfair, heavy, endless. You're tired of new beginnings. You just want something to stay. You just want something to work. But what if Allah isn't being cruel? What if He's being careful?